So again, welcome back to this Facebook Live. My name is Andrea and I am the founder of Corpo Giardino Yoga Practices, a Swiss-based yoga company who also offer an online educational yoga platform where I share with you yoga tools and different yoga styles to support you as a yoga practitioner to integrate yoga in your daily life with more knowledge. And also I support people in finding and using yoga as a tool to have a more balanced life, so less stress and more self-care, less burnout and more balance. This is my main purpose, and this is the purpose of the Corpo Giardino Yoga Practices. And what we're going to do today, in the first part, we're going to practice a breathing exercise which is called 3 parts breath. And in the second part, I will share my reflection with you and data with you about a scientific research I was reading in the last weeks, who replies to the question, does yoga really help us to sleep? So if you only want to practice with me this breathing exercise, stay with me in the first part, and then if you want to stay, then stay until the end. Otherwise, you can leave if you're not interested in more scientific data, or maybe you can watch in the replay. So again, as you want, what makes you feel happy today. So 3 parts breath. Let's begin with the breathing exercise I want to share with you. Why is it called 3 parts breath? Because we're going to divide the exhalation in 3 different parts. If you were following me, or if you read my stuff, you know that I am, especially now that we are exploring and practicing yoga tools for the rest, restore and recharge purpose. You know that I talk about the parasympathetic nervous system a lot, and I'm going to talk more about the parasympathetic nervous system later. But for now, just to make it easy and clear, it's the rest, digest, and restore response in the body. Is what we need to know basically, and learn how to activate it and how to tap in if we want to bring balance back in our life and we want to de-stress. And in the breathing function, the exhalation is connected to the parasympathetic nervous system. So anytime you find a breathing exercise or you're practicing a breathing exercise where you extend the length of your exhalation, you are tapping in and stimulating the PNS, parasympathetic nervous system, and tapping in a excuse me, in a rest response. So we are allowing the body finally to rest, to digest properly, and to restore on a different level, on a cellular level. So what we're going to do in this breathing exercise, we're going to inhale with the nose, let's say for 5 counts. We hold the breath for a couple of counts just to become aware that the inhale is finished. And then we're going to divide the exhalation in 3 parts. That's why it's called 3 parts breath. So exhale, and we make a pause. Exhale with the mouth, and we make a pause. Another part of the exhalation, exhale a bit more, and we make a pause. And then finally exhale to release the last air, basically, from the lungs. And then we begin again. So inhale for 5 counts, hold the breath for a couple of counts, and then this divided exhalation in 3 parts. I will guide you. We do 5 rounds like this and see what happens. After that, we're going to repeat this exercise, but with an extra awareness, practice, and touch. So let's begin in a comfortable seated position where you can easily elongate your spine, relax the shoulders down, relax your face. And take a couple of breaths, natural breath, to shift your attention in. So leave outside what you did this morning, what you're going to do this afternoon, all the things you have to do, leave them out. And shift your gaze and your attention inward, into your inner landscape. To then begin this breathing exercise together. So take a nice inhalation with your nose for 5 counts. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath a couple of counts. Exhale with your mouth. Pause. Keep exhaling. Pause. Last part, exhalation. Again, inhale with your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale with your mouth. Pause. Exhale with your mouth. Pause. Last exhalation. Until you can feel that the air is out. 3 more. Inhale. 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath. Exhale with your mouth. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Last exhalation. Last 2, you can practice on your own, so you become the master of your own experience. And I'll practice with you. Last one. And when you're finished, stay with your eyes closed and observe the outcome of this practice. How do you feel? Do you feel more relaxed already? More focused? I'm feeling lighter and more focused after practicing with you. So this is an easy type of pranayama, breathing exercise to make it easy, that you can practice daily in any time you're feeling that's too much, that you are in a too much state and you're overstressed, you're very tired. This is a great opportunity to release that stress, working with the exhalation. Now we're going to repeat the same exercise with our hands touching different parts of the lungs. So we can understand that normally we breathe only with the upper lungs here. It's a very shallow and superficial type of breath. And we breathe with the 20% of our lungs capacity every day, because we're always in a hurry. We are always doing something, or stress, or what it's called the concentration apnea. If you're working a lot on a computer or on a project, after a certain period of time, you will realize that you enter in an apnea, that you're holding the breath because you're concentrated on something. And we don't realize it. So the first step is realize when we enter in a kind of an automatic apnea and we stop breathing, or at least we breathe only with this part of the lungs. But the lungs, they arrive here until here. So let's find our lungs with our hands. So maybe warm up your hands if you're in a cold state or country. Warm up your hands and place your hands first in the lower part of your rib cage to feel the floating ribs. So the type of ribs that they move to the side, forward and back. And observe if that part of the body moves or not while you're breathing. Until now, we're not doing anything, just a pure observation, and your lungs arrive until here. Lungs are big. And this is the juicy part, the lower part of the lungs, because here, it's exactly here when happens the most important exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we need to breathe really deeply. So this is the lowest section of the lungs. Then place your hands on the front side of your chest and then on the back between the shoulder blades. And this is the medium section of the lungs, right? The middle part. And again, observe if you can feel movement when you breathe in and out. No judgment, no expectation, just observe how your body is reacting. Then as last part, place your fingertips underneath your collarbones, these small horizontal bone, they are called collarbones, and place it here. And this is the upper part of our lungs, right? And just observe if you can feel movement while you breathe in and out. No judgment, no expectation, just observe where you are and what you're feeling. Great. Now we're going to combine this exercise with the one we did before, the 3-part breath. So we inhale with the nose, 5 counts deeply, and inhale down to your lowest lungs. Okay, inhale deep here. The first part of the exhalation, we place the hands here and we help our lungs to squeeze in. Pause. The second part of the exhalation, hands on the heart and on the back, and use the hands to help the lungs to let the air come out. Last part of the exhalation, fingertips under the clavicle, and feel this part lowering. So now we have a connection between the action of the exhalation and where happens in the body. So it's a deeper experience. We're going to repeat this 5 more times, okay? And I will do it with you, and I will guide you for the first 3, and I will let you do the last 2 on your own, because I want to have your own experience and you become the inner teacher of yourself. All right? So let's begin by placing the hands on the floating ribs, so the lower part of the lungs. Keep your shoulders soft. Tuck the chin slightly to your chest, activating Jalandhara Bandha. Another time to explain what Jalandhara Bandha is. So let's begin. Inhale with your nose for 5 counts. So 2, 3, 4. Use your diaphragm to expand your lungs. Exhale, ribs in. Pause. And on your heart and on the back, exhale. Pause. Fingertips on the clavicle. Great. 4 more times. Let's say that I call place number 1 the rib cage, place number 2 the heart, place number 3. Otherwise, it's too long to teach it and guide it. Okay, hands on the place number 1. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, place number 1. Close, pause. Number 2. Pause. Number 3. And finish your exhalation, all the air come out. Hands on place number 1. Inhale for 5 counts. Pause. Exhale. 1. Pause. 2. Pause. 3. Three more. Number 1, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. Exhale. Number 1. Pause. Number 2. Pause. Number 3. Finish your exhalation. Last 2 on your own. Last one. In. Pause. Out. Pause. Out. Pause. Out. Let go the hands on your knees. Keep your eyes closed. Then again, observe the rebound and the effects. For the yoga tradition, when we work with the breath, yes, we work with our breathing function and our physical body, but we also work with the subtle body, the energetic body, the emotional body, and they are all connected. We're not different categories. These parts are all connected one to each other. And when we influence one part, we influence the rest of our parts of ourselves. It's like a Picasso painting. I like it too. Thinking like this. So gently open your eyes, coming back into your sacred space. If you have a journaling practice in your daily life, it's a great time now to journal. If you want to lay down, maybe in Shavasana for a couple of minutes, feel free to do it if you can, if you have the possibility. And this was it, 3 parts breath. It's a easy way, the first version, to do it every day, to work on your exhalation and your parasympathetic nervous system and to really restore. And the second part, it's a bit more technical, to go a bit deeper to understand how the breath is in the body and influences the body and the way we feel. So the breath is really powerful. It's a super powerful tool. So if you were interested only in this breathing exercise, thank you for staying with me. Thank you for practicing with us. You can always come back to this video because I leave all the videos always available. But if you're interested in listening to, I would say, 10 more minutes about what I find out regarding yoga and better sleep, you can stay until the end. Otherwise, watching on the replay. So, as you may know, probably, in Corpo Giardino yoga practices, we cooperate with nature. What does it mean? It means that instead of fighting against nature, we try to take the best of it and I'll be aligned with that. For this reason, I decided from 2021 to divide the year in 4 different quarters, 4 different seasons, and work on specific aspect of the yoga practice of the human nature in that specific season. And the theme we're working on and we are exploring in the first quarter is rest, restore, and recharge the energy, as we are in the winter season, and the winter season is the yin season at all. It means that we have more hours of darkness than light. It's often cold. We're more inside than outside. There is this energy, subtle energy of being more intimate with ourselves. We spend more time with ourselves, and even now with the worldwide pandemic, even more. So in my philosophy and in my approach, we want to nourish that, to cooperate with nature. And I'm digging around a lot of different aspects and topics around this theme. And what I could experience for my personal experience on my skin is that the more I'm practicing yoga, the better I can sleep. Especially if I practice something soothing and calm like yin yoga, restorative yoga, yoga nidra, meditation, some specific breathing exercises in the evening as a way of closing the day and distressing for what I did during the day and kind of getting ready to practice. I don't do this every evening, but I know that if I am very overwhelmed and I have a lot of information in my head, I try to do it because I know that it helps me a lot to sleep. Otherwise, I stay awake. And I am reading a book which is called Does Yoga Really Work? Which sounds a bit counterintuitive for a yoga teacher. But I truly believe that as we live in the area of misinformation and fake news, it's even more important, and it's one of my value, professionalism, to provide tools and data that are proved. Yes, they are proved. And so Donna Fari, which is a worldwide yoga therapist, a yoga teacher, recommended a book which is called Does Yoga Really Work? From Mary Flannery. I hope I'm pronouncing her correctly. She's a yogi and psychologist, psychotherapist, and researcher. And what she did basically, she spent the last 2 years digging and approaching scientific researches around and on the theme of yoga. And in the specific case, she published some discoveries and findings in what she could find in the experiments and researches that she could find around yoga and better sleep. And what she found basically is that insomnia is a problem that 30% of our population has. And insomnia is considered when a person can't sleep totally for one night and in 1 week for 3 nights in a row. And so 30% of our population suffers from insomnia. In the case of chronic pain and chronic illness, this percentage rises up to from 60 to 80%. So it's a huge percent of our population. So she was kind of thinking and trying to find, a research and, key points of her research. What does yoga does on a healthy adult? So the key points that she published are that yoga really helps the quality of our sleep because it's distress action. It's because it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, what we said before. The parasympathetic nervous system is the rest, digest, and restore response in the body that control. It's an automatic system and response that controls the digestion and how we rest and how the body restores itself, for example, after an injury. And it's the opposite and the other side of the medal of the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is called the fight, flight, or freeze response. It's a survival mechanism we have since millions of years. It is helping us, and it was helping us especially millions of years ago when we had to run away from a danger, so from an animal or something in the wood or whatever. So it's an immediate and quick and fast response to danger. And when the sympathetic nervous system is activated, there is a release of certain amount of hormones, and one of these hormones is adrenaline. And adrenaline kicks in, so we have a lot of energy to run away very fast. We're very lucid and we're very concentrated to finish our task and to find a way out. And this response is so fast that we don't even realize it. For example, this response allows us to jump away from a car that is coming even before we realize that a car is coming. It's a survival mechanism. But the problem is that this mechanism is supposed to be fast and have a quick response in a very short amount of time. The problem is that in the way we live, that we are in constant stress, we are stressed out and we perceive basically danger. We're stressed in our working environment, in our family environment, in our friendship environment. So we suffer from chronic stress, and we are the most of the time in the sympathetic nervous system, in the fight, flight, and freeze response. We're suffering from chronic stress, and chronic stress has kind of effects in long term that is the cause of a lot of illness we have nowadays. So practicing regularly yoga, she says, especially yoga in the evening, like restorative yin, yoga nidra, breathing techniques that bring balance in our nervous system, can really help us to sleep better and the quality of our sleeps improve. She also said that we need at least from 12 to 13 weeks of a regular yoga practice to begin to see the effects, because it is like this, not like any method. We need constancy and repetition. So basically she could summarize saying that yes, yoga is helping us for a better sleep because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system of the body, distressing what is called the very active mind. And yoga, how is called the active mind. If we have yoga teachers here, probably you know already where I'm eating to. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is that, Andrea? Why are you speaking Sanskrit right now? This is a very common, this is one of the definitions we have from yoga. Yoga is the calmation, is the effect of calming the fluctuation of the mind. So Chitta Vritti is the fluctuation of the mind, the active mind, the monkey mind, the mind that is always active and always stimulating. And in this digital area that we're living right now, the mind is constantly stimulating and engaged and addicted to this engagement. So this is Chitta Vritti, this is an active mind. And the active mind is the main cause of insomnia, especially if we keep working in the evening, keep studying in the evening, keep watching YouTube or Netflix in the evening. I'm not saying that I'm not doing this. Sometimes, of course, I do this. I'm a human being as well. But the active mind is the main cause of insomnia. So if we want to sleep better and with better quality, we need to work on the counterpart, which is parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, yin yoga, restorative yoga, yoga nidra, meditation, all this type of soothing type of yoga. Because from my personal experience, since a couple of years, the last dynamic practice that I practice or I teach, it's at 6 in the evening. So that I have enough time, or my students, they have enough time to decompress and to rest and to begin to slow down. Otherwise, sometimes if we practice something very dynamic in the evening, we can't sleep because we activate the system when we want to deactivate our system. And I practice when I know that I'm agitated or nervous, what is called the sleep hygiene. And so it's a very technical and cold definition, but it's called like this, sleep hygiene, which is no digital stimulation for 1 or 2 hours before I want to go to sleep, darkening the room, lowering the volume of devices or music, and so entering in this more intimate and relaxing state of mind and living, so I can lower and calm the fluctuation of my mind, and this has an effect on my body. All the other way around, I can calm my body, I can put my body in a comfortable position, in a relaxing position, so that I can have an effect on my active mind. Because as I said before, we are not divided and in different categories, we're all one. It's a very complex system working all together as a human being. So this was my Facebook Live for today. I know I gave you a lot of information, but I truly believe that if we want to if we want to apply and integrate yoga in our day-to-day life, we need not only knowledge, we need not only practices and sequences to do, but knowledge. So why are we doing something? What are we doing? And what is the purpose of what we're doing? In that way, we can apply it in different areas of our life based on our needs. If we don't know all of this, we're kind of confused. And one of the phrases of Corpo Giardino is less confusion and more yoga knowledge, so that you can start to practice yoga daily and regularly at home, at work, wherever you are, so that you can have a more balanced life. Because we deserve a calm, balanced, satisfied, happy life. It doesn't mean that life won't throw us challenges, because this is what life is about, but we can do something about it, so we can choose how to react to all of these things. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have other questions, please let me know. I will share in the comment the link to my blog, the blog that I wrote this week, where there are more infos about yoga and sleeping. So you can, again, dig deep. And there is also the link of Mary Flannery, the researcher I'm talking about, so you can have a look also what she writes, and maybe buy the book on Amazon. There is also the Kindle version of it. And again, if you have questions, I'm here. I'm super committed to stay with you and to support you in this journey. I wish you a super beautiful weekend. I hope you can rest and also your mind. And see you next week. So, last thing, if you have wishes or specific things you would love to practice, talk about, or see in this channel, in this platform, please reach out. I'm here for you. So I'm all ears, and I would love really to hear your feedback or to hear your ideas and your wishes. So again, have a lovely weekend and see you next.